going on? Oh, okay. I'll have to re-upload it. Looks like we're not live on Facebook. Oh, okay. No, what's going on there? I've never had that before. I'll have to upload the video after. We're live on LinkedIn and YouTube at the minute. I've never had that before. This is episode 74 of Pest Perspectives podcast. We are now sponsored by Powered Now, a job management software company. It just helps fund the podcast software like this, because it costs quite a bit of money to do podcasts. I do enjoy doing them, but getting a little bit of funding to help run the podcast, it just helps. So there'll be a link in the podcast after the show. This week is something a bit different. Well, I've never had this many people on before. So this, within the UK pest control industry, there's been a lot of controversy and basically all over a product called ChinChex. And I thought it was time I got some people on that have made it, tested it, used it, everything, so we can talk about it. So this week I have on, right, Francisco. How do I say your other name?
Pathos.
Francisco Pathos. Is that what that do? Is that right?
It is correct. Correct.
Oh, correct. From ChinChex. You're the owner, aren't you, of ChinChex?
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
Yes. I'm the guy who made it. We produce it.
Yeah. You are. It's cool to get you on. Also, we have on Richard Naylor from the Bedbug Foundation and the ChinChex store.
Mm-hmm. Nice
Second time on the podcast.
Yep.
He's back. And another second time, we've got Sarah, the Bedbug Queen, back on. So you've also got a title of 2 times. You have. There is a list, I'm going to have to make a list of how many times people have been on. I'm going to have to. So I'll obviously go with Francisco first. So how did, obviously, ChinChex come to be? How did it come about initially?
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah,
it's an honor. Initially, we had a pest control company. We have a pest control company that the name is No Bed Bugs Hong Kong, which is the t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We couldn't find anything that really worked for us because we are centered. We only do bed bugs. So in 2013, we were trying, even a little bit earlier. We were trying and we were getting good results, but not as good as we wanted. We were starting with, like everybody, a little bit of spray, a little bit of steam, a little bit of everything. We were doing heat treatments also, but we couldn't find anything. So it came out of necessity. We are not a pesticides company. It's just me, a guy who needed a solution. And with a lot of research, a lot of trials, and a lot of understanding, and 5 years, we end up having ChinChex after so many trials. So it comes out of, instead of having an idea of I need to make a product because there is this necessity, is me preparing a product for my company, for us to use.
So kind of, obviously at the time, it would have been exclusive for your company. You'd be the only ones that have got this product at the time. So just for your, at that time, was it just you and your pest control company? You were the only ones that had this as an actual product?
We had it only for ourselves until 2022.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so the first person who tested it was Richard in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the first. That was the first efficacy test ever made. Okay. He tested it in 2016, and we sent it to him 1 year after. We had it in 2015. We were using it already for 1 year. And then until we were about to launch it to the world, but COVID came and it got delayed.
So that's I'll be honest, how did you How do you make it? Obviously, you're not got technical expertise. How did you make a dust? Literally, were you clever at science at school, or did you get help, or how did you just make some dust?
Okay, initially my studies and my initial experience and everything is I used to be a chef, and I have
Okay.
a food science degree, so I
Yeah.
have some
Okay.
knowledge. Yeah, I have some knowledge about ingredients. Silicon dioxide is a food additive, E551, and then I have some knowledge about biology, and I have some knowledge about chemistry, and so I have this is not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Also, at the end.
It would be for me. It would be for me.
So I had a little bit of I have some experience in chemistry, and then the rest is just about research. It's just it took 5 years. Probably another guy maybe can do it in 6 months.
It'd be incredible if it was 6 months. Someone could do it in. But yeah, no, you've done well, and you obviously. So did you? Was it? What other countries got to ChinChex before the UK? Did you launch it in any other country? So I've heard it's in Australia under a different name, because I was listening to your podcast on Pesty Profiles. I was listening to that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I had to do a lot of re-listening to that podcast. Still not 100% understand all of it, because I said to Sarah, you need to watch this one. It's like, or listen to it. It's like a panel of experts. I said, basically.
Yeah. The product is distributed in 25 countries by insecticides all around the southeast. Insecticides, they have the world divided in three. One is America, another one is Europe, and another one is the rest of the world, which is Africa and Asia. So insecticides is distributing it in Africa and Asia, which is 25 countries. We were talking yesterday about Fiji, for example, to launch it in Fiji. Then we are in UK, obviously, and before UK, we were already in Spain and Portugal with Anticimex.
Okay, with Anticimex, wow, getting them on.
Yeah, Anticimex they have for the rest of Europe. I don't know if I have to say the rest of Europe or for Europe, not including UK. Anticimex they have exclusivity for Europe, so they are using it all around Europe.
Oh wow! So technicians that don't work for that particular company wouldn't be able to get it then, no?
Yes, but I guess that they initially they will start distributing it and selling it also online for.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I get it.
That's the deal. That's the deal.
Oh, I see. Okay. So how to do that? It sounds really good. It does. There's so much to take in. There is. So Richard, how do you help with this? Obviously you do testing. In you're in your lab now. You are.
Yeah, in my office at the moment. Yeah.
So, how did that testing process work when you tested it back in 2022? Was it?
2016 would
2016. That was it. Sorry.
So lots of companies send me lots of bed buggy products all the time. I've got multiple tests on the go at the moment for traps and sprays and all sorts of things, and so I'm always excited to see new things coming to the market. It's most similar. The thing that was on the market already that it's most similar to would be Cymexa from Rockwell Labs in the US, and I was familiar with that one. So I had high hopes for it because this is another amorphous silica dioxide. Side by side they look similar. They're a slightly different color, but they look similar. And so I was familiar with that one. And so I just did some simple benchtop studies. I tend to use little plywood tiles, and I dust them. It needs a very, very small amount. It doesn't look like it's covered in snow. It's just a barely visible residue. So I dust a set of tiles and put on some bugs, and I confine them onto the surface with a petri dish, an upturned petri dish, so they have to sit there. And then I just monitor it over time and see how quickly it takes for them to die. And it's phenomenally quick. it's affected by humidity. The ambient humidity in the room affects how fast the effect happens. If the humidity in the room's very low, you can see mortality in a few hours. And if it's high humidity, then it can take a few days, but probably not more than that if they're continuously exposed. Yeah, sort of 2 to 3 days is maximum that I've seen. Yeah. I mean, compared to, I was testing some of the professional residual insecticides last week on some recently collected populations, and I gave up on day 12 because I hadn't killed anything yet. So the pyrethroid resistance is such a huge issue now. They've almost lost all of their residual efficacy, and so the industry needs something that provides some residual efficacy for tackling bed bugs. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. You do a talk at Pestex. I wasn't there, but what highlighted it to me is I was told you used a word in your seminar on ChinChex. It's a word I don't like. It's game changer. Did you actually say game changer?
Me? Did I say I could have? Why don't you like that word? It sounds like something I might have said. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not having a go. It's just a word that generally a lot of products, when companies say it, it's not a game changer. But
that's fair.
Everything I've seen and heard and everything, this does sound like it could fit into game changer
I think that's a fair description. Yeah. Given that the current game, we've known about the pyrethroid resistance problem for 2 decades, and the game hasn't changed. And this really has potential to change how you tackle bed bugs, particularly in those multiple occupancy buildings where they can move around, and you need something to stop them reinfesting the same places over and over again. Yeah.
No, you definitely do. Also, I noticed I wanted to bring it up, but you're actually, it says on Company's House, you're a director of ChinChex UK. Is that right?
Yes, I set up a company with Francisco in order to distribute it in the UK. That's right. And I think we're like a year old now, just over.
Okay. I noticed it when I looked it up, and I thought, I didn't realise he was actually a director. So, yeah. I just thought it's just a bit interesting. That was. So, Sarah, how are you doing?
Guys? All good.
The lady that ditched all and sold all of her insecticides and everything. I was like, wow. She's all in. She's all in. I was like, there must be something here. If Sarah's ditched it all and just gone all in. Are you finding it works very well?
I'm finding it incredibly efficient. It just works. I've got a really good one that I'm looking forward to going back to tomorrow with Leah. Leah Darby. Yeah. We went to one. It's an unoccupied supported living unit that had clearly had bed bug for several years. When we walked through the front door, it looked like a carpet of dead bed bugs. And before you know it, we were virtually back to back with our steamers because they weren't dead.
Was that the one where you made some videos and you could hear Leah going? Oh,
so that wasn't the bad one. That wasn't the bad one. The one prior to that was the bad one. I mean, literally steaming the same areas 3 or 4 times, turning your back and looking back again, and more are emerging from the floorboards, the skirting, the plug sockets, because they haven't fed for many months. And we're now giving off quite a lot of carbon dioxide as we're moving around. And they were just coming. So I'm going to give a big update tomorrow on that one. Not tomorrow, the day after when we go. But yeah, it just works. What can I say? I spent 6 months deleting posts in my little Facebook group. The little one with 10,000 members now. Just thought I'd mention that.
10,000 now?
10,000 now. But I kept getting people that hadn't been members for long mentioning this product, ChinChex. I was deleting them for a good 6 months.
Oh, really? So they were actually saying, need to try it, it.
And I thought it was people spamming the group, and my feelings on people with their latest snake oil cure, just get out, go away. And then I spoke to Richard at Pestex last year, and he said, it's great, give it a try. And I thought, well, if it's good enough for Richard, It's good enough for me. And I haven't looked back. I can't see myself using anything else in the very near future.
Oh, that's good to hear. So I'm going to run through some questions as well, obviously, so we can help people that want to listen to this, decide. Because I'll be honest, I'm quite scared to use it. I like that, because I keep saying to you, don't I, Sarah? I like the look of it.
Oh yeah,
it just put me off still. It's so obviously, I know it's a silica dust. But is there any chance of getting, what's it called, silicosis from it?
Yeah.
Say someone's got breathing issues. Is there a chance or not?
It's been well tested, and it's been, this material has been registered in as a biocide. It's debatable whether it should be considered a biocide, but it has been registered as a biocide in many different countries, and so it's passed safety testing in that respect. If you look at the ultrastructure of it, diatomaceous earth is dug out of the ground and ground up into a fine dust, so it's like little sharp shards of glass. And amorphous silica is quite different. Under an electron microscope, you can see it's little round blobs. So it's quite a different material on a microscopic scale. It's not sharp. Fibrosis, silicosis is fibrosis of the lungs, which is scarring caused by sharp shards of of silica cutting into the lung tissue. So it doesn't have that effect. I mean, we always say with any kind of dust, you should minimize exposure to it. Wear a mask, that kind of thing. But and if you're using it sensibly, you should be applying it very specifically in the cracks and crevices where the bugs hide. It shouldn't be in your bedding on your pillow and that kind of thing. It should be in the cracks and crevices where the bugs are, and therefore not easily airborne. And the people who suffer from silicosis tend to be miners and builders who are working in dusty environments, for decades, and it's contracted over a long period.
Okay, I just thought, obviously, I've had a lot of people who ask me various different things, because it does worry people. But
can I just say, as part of my risk assessments, I always ask the customers if they have any breathing issues, lung issues, asthma, COPD, those kinds of things. And then if they do, then obviously I use as little as possible. But I tend to use the aerosol rather than the dust, because the aerosol, I find it adheres to surfaces. So you don't get that potential for a little bit of updraft of the powder.
Okay. So obviously, when this is open to anyone could with this. I've heard people, the process of doing it. Do you leave it in people's, like, under their divan beds and stuff? Is that safe to leave down in areas that they don't normally go to? So say you're, well, like me, when I get a bed at home, I just woof the mattress up. You won't get a puff of dust, would you, if that happened? Or no?
Bugs. Yeah, I'll let you speak, Francisco.
There is something that I think is very, thank you, Richard. There is something that I say very important, and it's always about the dose that you receive. When we're talking about the danger of any dust, and when we're talking about silicosis, and then as Richard was saying, this is something that the builders this is a sickness that the builders and the mine workers used to have, which is people that they are breathing every day, constantly, a dust, usually from quartz, which is what you get when you are in the mine, and what you get when you are in the building site cutting bricks. There is a lot of dust floating. The amount of ChinChex that you will use in a home is about 50 grams. 50 grams, that when you put the 50 grams, you apply the 50 grams, most of it is gonna be stick to the surfaces. So if a person will breathe about 10 or 15 grams, which is extremely lower than any danger thing. So it's kind of like if you go to the beach and it's a windy day, you know, it's kind of, nobody will think that they are going to get silicosis for going to the beach in a windy day. But the risk is bigger than with amorphous silicon dioxide. The thing is that it has been tested by, not that we tested it or anything, but it's been tested by the by OSHA, by the American work safety, by European work safety regulations, and all of them, they say it's quite safe, it's extremely safe, and everything depends on how much you breathe. Obviously, the applicator, we only do bed bugs using ChinChex. Our technicians, they do every day 6 applications of the ChinChex. People like us, of course, use a mask. It's considered to be safe, but I always put the example of sardines. Sardines, this year they are super safe, and next year they will kill you. So just as a matter of safety, use a mask. I suggest to cover your head. You know, it's like try not to breathe the product. For the people who are at the home, it's extremely safe. We have been using it in hospitals with the approval of the doctor while the patient is in the bed. I mean, a patient with a respiratory problem that they are having oxygen or something like this, and then we have been putting ChinChex with the aerosol, but it's still ChinChex, in the bed with the doctor present.
Okay. So obviously this sounds like a thing that could be quite good in places like care homes and places like that. It does. Because a lot of people, people that can't walk, elderly and stuff, a lot of them they sit in the same places, so it could happen. Yeah. So this does sound like an option for like places like care homes. It does.
Yeah, it's very, very common to have divan beds, often with drawers in, and the bed bugs just get inside that big hollow structure. They're out of the way of, this is a perfect location to put ChinChex because you can dust the inside of the bed base. No one's going to have their head in there and have any kind of exposure to it. But this is where the bugs will be hiding. So in the bed base and behind the headboard, these are the places where bugs like, and they're away from where people have contact with them. So yeah, these are the ideal locations. Yeah.
Okay, it does sound that. There's a few people in chat now. Hello, Hugh. Hello, Chris. Hello, Heyman on LinkedIn. There's a few people coming over. As you might have noticed, Hugh, my Facebook stream failed for the first time ever. I will re-upload the full video on Facebook after as well. Someone was asking, I don't know if you can answer this, what's the cost difference between ChinChex and DE? I don't know if that's relevant, or someone was asking that on the YouTube. They were.
It's a little bit more expensive.
Okay. Well, if it works, that's all that matters.
I mean, that's the thing. I can get DE to work. I can make DE work, but the processes are a little bit longer. It's a bit slower. The results I'm getting with the it's like paying for the congestion charge in London. If you want to go the quickest, most efficient route through, pay your £18 a day. It's worth it.
Yes, it is. It is. It's like you always find, if you find a product that works, they keep using it because it's working.
Yeah.
Even if it's cost a little bit more, it's irrelevant.
And when you balance it out against the insecticides,
I would
say the ChinChex is cheaper than some of your brand name pesticides.
It definitely is. I was looking. I was like, and you said to me, but that can do a few rooms. No, never.
I'm bringing you over to the dark side, Shaun.
I know.
Slowly, I'm bringing you in.
I know.
DE is really, really, really negatively affected by humidity. It's almost not suitable for our climate. The efficacy becomes so slow. I did some marina trials in controlled humidity environments, and I hadn't killed with the DE. I hadn't killed everything in 4 months, and I was forcing the bugs in the arenas to walk over it every week. And so weekly exposures for 4 months weren't enough to kill 100% of the bed bugs. So I I know that some people do use DE, and I know some people that use DE effectively. But I know a company in Switzerland that use DE, but they dry out all of their DE. They built their own machine for drying it out before they use it, because it's so critical that it's absolutely bone dry, or it just becomes very, very slow. Yeah.
Okay, just on that hospital thing, Hugh Radford's just put something. We have problems with bed bugs in the hospital. Type air mattresses, can't steam them, but they are about £1,000 each.
I'm not familiar with those mattresses. I'm familiar with the blue plastic covered hospital mattresses with the zip around the side. And everybody that's watching will know exactly where you find the bed bugs in that zip flap. Yeah, those can be steamed. So I'm not familiar with the air mattresses. I can imagine they'd be a bit of a pain. But then equally, you can see it. So why not vacuum instead?
Yeah. In hospitals, the hospital beds are renowned for getting bugs inside the frame of the bed. That's the biggest problem with those hospital beds, is the bugs can get into the tubular structure, and then it's very difficult to hit them with anything.
But
you
Richard,
can blast some
I thought metal beds were better. I thought metal beds solved everything.
Not hospital beds. Simple metal beds, I swear by. Yeah. If you're in an apartment building and you've got bugs in all of your neighbouring apartments, get a metal bed and you probably won't have bed bugs. But the hospital beds, there's such a complex design with sort of telescopic tubes and
I've treated
bits and
them.
pieces. Bugs can get right inside them, and they can be a real pain to get rid of. Then, yeah.
You need a chat with Richard. He used to help redesign them. He does.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to know, with ChinChex, does it have an MD, basically a safety data sheet? Basically, does it have a safety data sheet? Because obviously,
it's got all that.
Treatment, it has got that. Okay.
Yeah. You can find that on there's ChinChex.com, which Francisco manages, and there's a ChinChex.co.uk, which is the UK site, and both of them, I think maybe the UK site links to the .com site, and that's where all of the safety data sheets are for not just the UK, but lots of different companies, because everyone has their own system, and so they're all on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In ChinChex.com, you can. I mean, we have it. Some pest control companies, they don't publish all these documents, but in ChinChex.com you can have. I'm reading right now the website in next window, which you can download in here the toxicity, oral toxicity, inhalation toxicity, dermal toxicity, skin sensitization, eye irritation, skin irritation, eye irritation is misspelled, stability report, label, food grade report, MSDS for Australia, MSDS for Europe, and the COSH.
COSH, yeah. COSH forms,
yeah.
Yeah.
That was what I was asking, because the COSH, basically.
That's all there, yeah.
People said, ask that question, so I've asked the question. I have. So you can, it is categorized as a non-toxic treatment, so you can legally say this is non-toxic. Is that correct?
Fine, yeah.
You can. Is it?
There is one thing that is very important in this, because it's not just that I say, or that we say is non-toxic because we have a toxicity, oral toxicity study, but amorphous silicon dioxide is an approved food additive. Whenever you use instant noodles, or whenever you have the chocolate powder for the milk, or it is in those. The number is, when you read the ingredients list, is a E551, and it's in so many foods. I mean, it's a food additive.
Okay. That's interesting. That is. How does I heard something on the? I think you were talking to the Beauties and Beasties, Francisco, and something came up. I'm sure you said something was mentioned about, for the wasp, we use Vulcan, and they said that obviously that was more dangerous than ChinChex was. There was something, I don't know the ins and outs of what was said. It's something to do with Vulcan dust. It was. And it came in, ChinChex was safer than that to use. And everyone was worrying about ChinChex when Vulcan was more dangerous to use. So I use Deadline, by the way. That's what I use, Deadline Pyrodust Pro.
But I think most of the sprays are more dangerous than ChinChex. They are all poisons, and
You've already met. So Jake on YouTube, someone's saying, have you got? Well, obviously you're not going to have that, are you? You've got the data sheet, but he's saying the UK HSE data sheet. It hasn't gone through that, has it?
So HSE are wondering what to do about silica products generally at the moment. I know that they're talking to Baratine at the moment because they have an OA2KI silica spray, and there are others. Lodi have a Desi Dust, and the question is whether or not these should be considered a biocide, because by HSE's own definition, a biocide has to have a mode of action beyond physical, and we know that silica products have a physical mode of action. So by HSE's definition of a biocide, these are not biocides, but that doesn't stop people registering them as biocides. So that's what's caused the grey areas. Several companies like Rentokil registered an amorphous silica, and the Vasa DE, it comes from Biofur, and this has been registered as a biocide, but it's not a biocide. So HSE are trying to decide what to do about that, and I'm not sure which way they're going to go. Yeah,
it will take them a very long time. It always takes governments.
Yeah.
It will take governments years to work anything out.
Yeah,
it does. So they might just knock it on the head in the end.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it took 6 years for the Vasa DE one to be registered as a biocide. Yeah, and
it's getting worse.
A phenomenal amount of money. Yeah,
it's getting worse and worse. Like, I'll be honest, like, everyone's going on about products, but us in pest control, we're losing more than we're actually gaining. I reckon it's 6 to 8 years to register a product now. Something crazy like that.
Yeah, and maybe 500,000. Yeah,
it's mental. It really is. Like, everyone says, "Oh, I said, we're losing more than we're gaining." Because a lot of new products, they're not new, are they? They're just a mixture of something that's already out, and they've just repackaged it and relabeled it. Yeah. So it's nothing new, nothing groundbreaking. The products, most of the products that come out, they're not.
Yeah.
So there's a few people with someone saying that they used ChinChex and had great results. There you go. Also, right. So, how does it actually work? How do you do? This is open to all. How does a treatment work? How do you actually do a ChinChex treatment? Say a normal bedroom. This is open to any of you, because it's up to who wants to go. You probably all have different ways of doing it as well.
I think we all operate in quite a similar way.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go if you want. I'm happy to say. So after my initial survey, which we all know is the most important part of the entire process, it's detail work. So let's say we'll stick with a divan bed, for example. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start behind the headboard. I'm going to steam there first. Yeah. Then I'm going to remove the headboard from the bed. Then I'm going to steam the rest of the headboard.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take the drawers out. I'm going to steam the drawers individually, all fabric edges, joints in the frame, screw holes. Then I'm going to have the divan base upside down, have that fabric off underneath. I'll probably steam the edges of that fabric first, just to kill any that are in that area, because I don't want them pinging as I'm popping that fabric off. Fabric off, then steaming all the cracks and crevices inside that frame, all the joints in the wood, those little cavities up in the corners. You can just get your Pulte in there nicely, steaming all of those fabric edges, screw holes, knots in the wood, all those same areas. And then I'm going to give it a little while to dry, just to make sure that there's no dampness in the area. So I might do the skirting boards then. I might even move to another room to just make sure that's fully dry. And then it's applying the ChinChex with a brush. I just use a normal little makeup brush. This is literally a makeup brush. That's what I use. You can squeeze it flat to make a more defined area. And actually, I got some out, so I can actually show you how I apply it on a cushion, just as an example.
Mask.
Right there, sunshine, right there. Way ahead of you.
Sorry, I had
That's
to.
all right. No, you're absolutely
on the internet
right.
site. Where's her mask?
So let's assume this is some piping on a mattress or on a headboard. So I'm just going to dip my brush in the ChinChex. You see that there's quite a fair bit loaded on there.
Yeah.
Actually, there's too much on there, so I've tapped a bit off. And even that is a little bit too much. And that brush load.
Yeah.
I've still got more left on there.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah.
But that is plenty. And I would just brush that in a bit more. So it's less on the surface and more just in the gaps and crevices.
I get it.
That's it.
I get that now.
Yeah, you're looking at me
I was not expecting a live demonstration.
I mean, that like, okay, detail,
good.
A bed frame is a lot more than that one single cushion.
Yeah.
But it really is. It's slow and steady. It is, you flick your brush to get a nice dusting up into those voids in the frame, brushing every joint in the wood, each screw hole, bed back up the other way, some around the mattress seams, sometimes, not always, zips, rarely on the buttons. If it was a really significant one like today's one, I would be putting some around those button areas. Skirting board around the bed, close the door, tell the customer not to enter the room for 90 minutes and walk away smiling.
So, obviously, some people have, I knew this would come up because some people in chat have been asking, basically saying, why are you steaming? Why can't you just use ChinChex for the knockdown? That's your process, though, isn't it? That's your process, Sarah. That's not. Yeah. He's not saying this is a ChinChex process. Yeah.
But if you want a success rate of 98% on one single visit, just saying.
Yeah. We do it slightly different because in Hong Kong, our technicians, they go in the tube. They go in public transport. In Hong Kong, to use the car, it doesn't make sense. So what happens is that our guys, they go around with a backpack with powder and aerosols. So we do not do steam. What we do is the first thing when we get to the home, we do aerosol to the surface. We do aerosol directly to every bed bug that we find. And then we put the powder a little bit similar to what Sarah just explained, and also to every gap. 2 weeks after, we do it again, and that's usually enough. In the first week, we will kill, in the first application, in the first day, we will kill about 85 or something like this percent. In the next few days, it's going to get to the 100%. Usually, when we go to do the follow-up, we don't find anything else, and if we find something, we always set up another extra follow-up, because we do give 1 year warranty because ChinChex has a very long efficacy, a very long receiver. But it's basically the same thing. Instead of using the steam, we use the aerosol, but it's the same thing.
Okay. Some people are also mentioning hoovers. They hoover. Is that a good way as well before treatment?
Yeah, I recommend hooving. If it's a bad one, in that when you go to disturb it, you lift the mattress and they're all scattering and dispersing. A hoover is great because there's really nothing faster for like sucking them up as they're moving away from the bed. So if you've got hundreds or thousands to deal with, a hoover's a great first step to get the thing under control, and then you're just trying to deal with the ones and twos that you can't necessarily find, that kind of thing. Yeah, but I recommend hoovering. Yeah.
Sounds quite satisfying, actually.
Yeah, you can make a bad problem much better fast. Yeah.
Look at me and Francisco, we're all excited. So, it is very satisfying. It really is. It's such satisfying work.
That's a hard question to answer, Jake, to be honest. He's saying to you, Sarah, how do you know that it's the ChinChex that's killed them and not the steaming?
Because, okay, so some of you know my history. I've actually got a decade of experience with bed bugs. I started out with a company called Bed Bugs Limited in South London, run by David Kane, who just about everybody knows. So I worked for him for 6 years. He pioneered an insecticide-free approach to bed bug control because he was one of the first people, I think, along with Richard and some others, that spotted this resistance issue. So I already was using DE, steam, and some cleaning protocols for 6 years. And then when I came back into the industry and started my own company, obviously I wouldn't be copying David's methodology because, you know, he spent years developing his way. So I looked for a different way. I did my BPCA training. I trained in the use of insecticides. And I did a kind of combination where I was using insecticides away from the beds, almost using it as a kind of a flush to kind of flush them out of the areas where I didn't want them to be, and then using DE on the bed frame in order to, you know, bring them into contact with that, and then some cleaning protocols as well, which I made work because I'm that kind of, I could probably make any method work if I put my mind to it. But this is about making it simpler and more efficient and safer for everyone. The moment I started using the ChinChex, I didn't have many callbacks anyway, but I've literally had 2.
That's good. How many jobs is that out of?
One wasn't out of how many? Oh, hundreds of jobs.
That's very good going.
Hundreds of jobs. And one of those, when I went back to do the re-inspection, I didn't actually find anything. And I think the insect that the customer found but had forgotten to photograph probably wasn't a bed bug. And the other one was a really serious one, which any product would have required multiple visits, and this only required 2. So
that's good. I mean, that is very telling. That is, when you say you've done hundreds and then you've only had to go back to 2. That's very good, to be fair. That is, especially with how hard bed bugs can be. That's a good sign. Someone was asking as well. Obviously, it kills the bed bugs. Just what does it do with the eggs? Does it kill eggs? Does it, or no? I don't.
Eggs hatch in about 6 days, and those first stage nymphs are the most susceptible to desiccation. They've the thinnest cuticle and a very small amount of water inside them. So I imagine that the eggs would probably survive. They're pretty tough to kill, eggs. Like most sprays can't kill eggs, but as soon as that nymph hatches and finds itself surrounded by the dust, it'll die in probably hours or less. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's answered it. There's been a few people found their way over to YouTube and LinkedIn because they realised that my Facebook stream has died. I've been saying for ages I was like, the Beauties and Beasties they've got a method of doing it. When they go live, it goes down, and they know how to do it. And I said to myself, this ain't happened to me. It's happened now. Hugh Radford is now over on YouTube. He said, does the aerosol or dust work out more cost effective? It's there. There you go.
I mean, I would say the dust is more cost effective.
Okay.
They do have some different applications, some different benefits. If you wanted to treat the legs of a bed in order to, you know, stop bugs climbing up, I'd go with the aerosol because it sticks to surfaces. If you were trying to go if you wanted something for a rapid direct kill, then the aerosol will kill bugs immediately by spraying it on them. That's not a ChinChex effect. That's the propellant in there will kill them immediately. So if you want something where you can instantly kill bugs, then the aerosol is very effective at that. But for like area that you can treat, then there's a lot more product in the dust will go a lot further. Yeah.
Okay. Because also I've noticed you've got some. You've not just got that. You've got some Harbour area products, haven't you, as well? So stick down. You've got some different products as well. Are they good? I presume they're good as well.
Yeah. Maybe Francisco wants to talk about that. That's something he developed. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to reach 1 second.
Everyone,
Okay.
but don't you think Francisco looks great for a man that's it's 3 a.m. in the morning? Looks very awake, doesn't he?
I'm 3 coffees. I'm 3 coffees up already. We have in the morning today, in a few hours, every year we have a factory inspection by the Trade and Industry Department. It's gonna be fun today. And we were talking about this one, yeah, ChinChex Harbour.
Yes, yes.
Okay, these are stripes of cardboard that we coat them. These ones are not brandless because these ones, Insecticides wants to use them like this for hotels. We designed them so the bed bugs can easily fit inside. It's a Harbour and it's coated with ChinChex. So what happens is that if you put them properly in the place, if you put them, if you do a proper installation, meaning in the head, 30 centimeters from the head, between the mattress and the headboard, they will be a very good preventive option for hotels, for example.
Yeah.
And not only that, you can also use them for a treatment. So what we're doing nowadays is we go to the homes, we do a little bit of aerosol, then we put the powder, and also we install 2 or 3 of these. Because the bed bugs, they will always try to hide. This is something that I learned from Richard's PhD thesis. The bed bugs will always hide as close as possible to the host. Mm-hmm. So if you put them close to the head, then the bed bugs, they will always find their way to them. It's a very logic and very easy thing. The bed bugs will not go very far to the wall or to the outlets if there is some room to hide nearby. Okay. The good thing is that when the bed bugs come inside here, they get coated with ChinChex and then they go out to die. So there is always going to be a space in here for bed bugs.
So could that be used as a bed bug monitor or no? Because they can get out again, can they?
The thing is that the way we design it, you can't really open it to check.
Okay. You can hold it up to the light, though, can't you? You can see pretty easily. Yeah.
The holes are big enough to see through it. Okay. So yes, you could use it as a monitor. But I have the thing of my understanding always is that monitoring is to know whether you have the bed bugs.
Yeah.
And for us, the point with this one is that if you have bed bugs and they go inside here, you will not have bed bugs anymore. So you're not looking for a monitoring anymore. You have a constant treatment. We do hotels and then with Anti-Cimex, they do a lot of hotels with preventive treatments, meaning that they get a hotel, they put a little bit of ChinChex in every room, and then this hotel, they will get a certificate that this hotel has been preventive treated for bed bugs, and then is considered free of bed bugs. They offer them, it's a 1-year contract, and then if there are bed bugs in any bedroom, they treat for free, and it's very, very good for them. They are making a good sales on that.
Nice, because I suppose obviously with pest control, we're not supposed to treat unless it's a problem, but because that's not a chemical, you could leave that down, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you've killed the infestation off and you've left some of them in each room, that's allowed because it's not a chemical.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually in Spain, which is where they are using it the most, it's exempted. They talked to the government of Spain, and the government of Spain, they told them that they don't need a registration for this product or anything, so it's a non-biocidal. Then you can leave ChinChex. You put ChinChex. If you put the ChinChex powder properly, then you give some training to the staff. Then you put 2 of these in each bed, and the chances for bed bugs to succeed on an infestation is extremely minimal. And we're talking about hotels in Spain where there are a lot of hotels, as you know. Many people from all around Europe, they go there. There is so many hotels. There is a case where 2 hotels, they had 86% of the bedrooms infested. And they solved it with using ChinChex. And in the last 1.5 years, they only got 14 reports. So out of 700 rooms, there were
that's really good, that is.
Yeah. And then I have the theory that some of these new calls is because there were so many bed bugs in the hotel that obviously also some of the cleaning or the stewards, they got them to their homes. So this is kind of like bringing them back. But there is not an infestation ongoing again. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I had a job last week that involved, it was a bed and breakfast. And from the source room, which was round a corner end of the corridor, that was the source, coming back down the corridor, few in that room, back down this corridor, one in this room. And you could literally track the linen down the corridor as housekeeping do their job, and training those sorts of people to do things differently. That can really change things for them as well. It's not just about product, it's about behavior.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right, because a lot of places, I hear some places, they train the cleaners in what to do. Because a lot of them, I'm not saying they all have monitors, but a lot of them they're trained to look for bed bugs in the beds. They are.
Makes total sense. Yeah, they're the most likely ones they're most likely to disturb a bug when they're changing the beds, and most likely to see the black spots, those black fecal spots, are your like first indication that there's something going on. So it makes total sense to train your cleaning staff to recognise that, so that they can act on it when they see it. Yeah.
It does, and you never know. In the end, they might think, right, I want to get into the business. You never know, do you? It's a joke.
There is plenty of work about at the moment, trust me.
I wanted to mention something because I mentioned it briefly on a podcast I did on a Roundtable, and Sarah thought it was it wasn't actually made in aid of the ChinChex DIY kit. It was made in aid of. I added the ChinChex into it. I was fair.
The home treatment kits.
Yeah, then what it was, I found loads of like big companies that were trying to sell like farm kits, and all it was is like off-the-shelf rodenticides shoved into a kit, and it was the same. So I rolled that into it. So I wanted to mention where was the DIY kit born out of, and obviously with that, you've obviously got risk because people are going to buy it that haven't got bed bugs as well, but.
Yeah, and I can't police that. That's impossible to police. But I mean, we've all seen it in the group. A lot of people, is this a bed bug? No, it clearly isn't. But anyway, so I see a lot of jobs where a problem's got out of control within a building because one person's got bed bugs and they can't afford pest control. And it is very easy for us that aren't in that situation to say, oh, well, I'm sure you could if you really tried. You know, it's only a few £100. Some people are literally living hand to mouth and they don't have even £100 to pay me to come out and do an inspection, let alone a treatment. So there are already enough bed bug killer kits on all of the well-known sales platforms. And we know they don't work. And we know they often make things worse. You know, every pest controller will go, oh, my God, what have you already been using? The bed bugs are dispersed through the room because you've sprayed them.
You recently had someone try and ask you if the bed sheets were great. What was it?
Yeah. A bed bug proof bed. Yeah.
That was it. That was
a bed bug proof bed. Yeah, that annoyed me. Yeah. So I'm aware there's an issue. And there are products out there that are basically snake oil. And I wanted to fill that gap. So I wanted to give people the chance to resolve their own issue, or at least bring it down to a bare minimum. You know, we all know professionals, we've got knowledge about exactly where and how and all the rest of it, the biology, the behavior. And maybe Joe Public won't always get it right. But at least this kit won't make it worse. It's not going to cause them to spread to the neighbours or get into the fabric of the building. It's going to, at the very, very least, it's going to minimise it to a manageable amount. And I still believe that the majority of people that can afford pest control are still going to use pest control, because nobody wants to be crawling around inside a divan bed base apart from lunatics like me and Francisco, or maybe Richard. You know, most customers, when you tell them they have to sleep in their bedroom, are horrified.
Yeah.
They're really not going to want to get up close and personal in the way you really need to in order to make any product or method work. So I wanted to give them something, and I have written instructions which I've run past Richard just to, like, you know, am I being detailed enough? But is it still easy enough to understand? And we think it is. And yeah, I want that out there. And if it's going to affect anybody's business, because you know how much hate I'm receiving at the moment. I'm getting a lot of love as well, but I'm getting a lot of hate out there. You know, are you going to take business away from us? Well, I'm going to be the one that's most affected because I only do bed bugs.
You do. That's true.
Sorry, Dave, the pest controller. You've got 20 other pests you can continue making your money off of. But I don't think it's going to put me out of business. But
not from what you've been saying recently. You can't keep up, can you?
I can't. I'm fully booked to next Friday.
Nice, that's good, that is.
I literally haven't got a second. I forgot about this today. I remembered earlier, came home from work, took all my gear off, washed it, put my dressing gown on, and I was sat on the sofa and I was like, got this nagging feeling there's something I should be doing. So I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I had to quickly get up. But yeah, it's crazy out there. There seems to be a massive uptick in bedbug work at the moment, not just for me, but across England generally. It seems to be really
the data I've seen supports that. The data so I take all of the, we have this Bedbug Foundation website which receives lots of people submit photos to see if they're bed bugs, and I look at the proportion of those that are actually bed bugs, and it's normally around 20%. And in 2021 we were at like maybe like an 8-year low, like it had dropped to about 15%, and that seemed to be like the effect of COVID, like stopping movement of people and shutting down hotels and things like that, and bed bugs really took a dive, and pretty much every year since then it's increased, and now it's increasing quite rapidly. It
is. It really is. Even in the group, you're just getting more and more, and they also seem to be getting just harder and harder to resolve. The stories in the group, it's not on a daily basis. You're hearing from people that have had 4, 5 insecticide treatments, 2 or 3 heat treatments, and they've still got a bed bug problem. This resistance thing isn't going to go away. And I know change is scary, but the industry does need to change. And I know I talk about a revolution and I do it in quite a tongue-in-cheek manner, but this product really could revolutionize the way we treat bed bugs. And the question I think we should ask ourselves is, do I want to build a business doing bed bug work, or do I want to try and actually get on top of bed bugs as a nuisance pest? And although it might put me out of business at some point in the future, I really want to get on top of bed bugs as a nuisance pest.
It's a big goal, that is. It's because it's like when you, it's like there's certain products in different countries, like America, and they say I'm not on about ChinChex there. They go, there's a mold one coming out. I'm not mentioning names, but
we all know the one.
It's a game changer. Well, they've still got bed bugs in America. It's not, obviously they've got bed bugs everywhere, but getting new products like this, it might turn the tide eventually. I think the technology and everything's getting better. Got these new powders. This powder does seem, out of all the recent, I'm no expert, this one seems to be the one that's, as Richard might have said, it may very well be, I hate saying it, a game changer for the bed bug world.
As I say, I was very dismissive of it. I was very, I look at everything. I look at every claim and take it with a pinch of salt. but I've been using it now for the best part of, so when did I start? October, I think we started November last year. So good 8 months using nothing else.
I bet you have to get a lot in stock, don't you, to not run out? Got the bigger box. They've got the bigger one.
Yeah, I've got the big boxes.
Yeah,
I've got the big boxes. So yeah, I do. I desperately need the aerosol at the moment. But yeah, we're gonna need a bigger store, guys.
Yeah, no. It's good for all your your insight on it, because obviously I'm hoping this podcast will help people try it, because I want to try it. I don't get a lot of bedbug work at all. I'm probably the minority. Hugh's saying he's getting about. They're doing about 4. His bloke's doing about 4 to 8 a week. So,
I had a conference
on my own.
I had a conference in Philippines about 2 months ago, and we found out, we understood something by talking to pest controllers in there, because in Philippines there is also a lot of bedbugs. Talking to so many of them, I knew that the bedbug problem in Philippines was very big, and I was talking to so many pest control companies, and they all were telling us that, no, we don't get too many jobs for bedbugs, we don't get too many jobs for bedbugs. But after talking, what was happening is that they were not taking the jobs. People were asking them, and then initially what happened is that they were doing, for example, for hotels, they were doing the pest control for the hotel and including the bedbug jobs for free. And at the end, what happened is that they were giving the bedbug jobs to other guys. So there were like 5 guys in Philippines doing a lot of bedbug jobs, and then most of the other guys, they were simply rejecting or not getting enough or not marketing for it. For example, if you have in Google, most of the people doing Google or in Facebook ads and everything, and then you are not including. It's the same thing for me. I don't get rodent jobs. I don't get also cockroach jobs because I don't market for those ones. But I believe that I believe that as soon as you see profitability, and then because most of the people, the problem is that if you go to do bedbugs, you will have so many problems. You will fail, you will get callbacks, you will have problems, people will complain, and then just stop marketing for them. But if you have a product that works, then most likely you will start making some marketing for it, and then the jobs for them will grow, because I think UK has a big problem. But if we compare UK, for example, I was talking the other day to some guys in Africa. I think in Africa, 95% of the households have bedbugs.
They do.
Nigeria
I had someone
quite a problem.
I had someone on the podcast at some point, and he mentioned that nearly every place has got them. They're everywhere.
I've been talking to someone from Kenya and Malawi in the last week or so, both saying, what can we do about bed bugs? Yeah.
So ChinChex could probably help them countries. Is ChinChex available there yet?
Distribution is a nightmare. I've tried sending it to Kenya and it just disappears. So that's the challenge.
I can believe it.
I've got a lady wants to bring me out to Morocco at some point in the future to help her, so I'm quite looking forward to that.
Morocco,
that's good.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Casablanca, no less.
Private jet for the bedbug queen.
That'd be nice. I do happen to know that there are a few pest controllers out there that have been trying it on the quiet, because they've reached out to me to ask about application, and then going, oh my goodness, you were right, this is great. So there are although there's been a lot of people just being very anti, I think some are having an anti front, but they're using it like on the sidelines and finding it. And eventually, listen, if people try it, they will realize. So just give it a go, guys. Just try it once on a difficult one. Try it. Seriously.
Well, we don't. To be fair, I mean, the majority of our work is rodent and wasps and moths and stuff. But I don't particularly market towards anything. But I do bed bugs. But I never seem to get the calls. You know.
You're quite rural.
I do a few a year. Yeah. Basically, if I went into actual Leicester and Peterborough centres, city centre, yeah, I would. But it's not worth it, you see. From where I'm coming from, it's more economical for them to hire someone more local. It would be.
Yeah.
To be fair, it would. So, yeah. It's like cockroaches. It's not a big thing. We've done 2 top cockroach jobs in the last few years, but not being funny or anything, but they're from people that have moved from a city, and they've most likely brought it in their food boxes, because I couldn't work out how they got cockroaches into Rutland. We don't have them. We don't. So that was something. Yeah.
ChinChex is also useful on cockroaches.
That's what someone else was asking. Can we use ChinChex for any other insects? And there you go.
Yeah.
Stored products, SPIs, grain store products. Yeah, Francisco was telling me. Yeah, you can go into more detail about that. Yeah,
it works in cockroach. We have some tests for cockroaches, a few efficacy tests. We have also tests in the scorpions. And then we have a very good testing in store grain insects, and it's starting to get a lot of traction. insecticide is starting to push a lot in Australia for store grain insects. Also in India, we're getting some traction for store grain insects. Because it's really effective, and the thing is that in the silos where you keep the grain, usually they need to let the insects eat like 10%, and then they fumigate, and the fumigation will kill the insects that are present. But adding a little bit of ChinChex to the grain at the beginning of the storage acts as a prophylactic, so you don't need to do the fumigation, and you also will not lose any grain to the insect. So it's starting to get a lot of traction for store grain.
That's good. That is. It's if it works for that insect too, it's another avenue, isn't it? It is, and that again you can call that a non-toxic, can't you? Because obviously, you can. Because I think obviously, because you've got fumigation, and that's obviously highly. I'm no expert in it, but I do know that you have to have quite a few qualifications to do that kind of work. You do. You wouldn't need to with ChinChex, because I think fumigations, you have proper fumigations. I think you have to work under somebody and have X amount of experience, and it takes a long time to become properly qualified in that. It does. So someone's asking garden ants.
I haven't tried it. I wouldn't be surprised, but I haven't tried it. I'd like to try it before I say anything on that.
You're right there. Jake, you could be the first. Buy some ChinChex and try it. But it's been a good podcast. It has. Hopefully, this podcast has helped people understand more about the product and maybe try it, because there's someone in here, I'm sure. Is Chris? He works for Virgo, and he said he's been trying it. He has. I got a free sample. There you go. I got a free sample, which I have tested for Virgo. So they're even looking at it. Maybe they are. But yes. But thanks for coming on. So thank you, Sarah, for coming on and explaining the way you do. How you apply ChinChex.
My pleasure.
And your methods. But and thank you, Richard, for giving us the big terminology and technical talk.
Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming on again. And Francisco, thanks for arranging this, because I initially, when I messaged you, I said, any chance you getting Richard Naylor on as well? I was like, I reckon that will make a really good pod, And then he was like, I'm going to go one better. He says, can we have the bedbug queen on? I was like, that will make a well-rounded conversation, that will. So, the ChinChex Roundtable as such, it's been good. Do you think I've missed anything, any of you? Do you think there's anything that I've missed, or I think I've covered pretty much
that's
most?
been pretty thorough, yeah.
I made sure I got that DIY in there, Sarah. I didn't want.
I know. I was ready for you. Ready.
I actually texted you because I said I think it's a fair question.
He did. He gave me a heads up.
Yeah, because it was the That's the one thing that caused a lot of stir. It did.
Yep.
It did. So I thought I'll mention it.
The thing is, just to say,
yeah,
like Richard does a lot of work. So Richard helps people out when they have a complicated bedbug problem. I help people out. So we're already doing stuff, and I'm sure we're not the only people that are out there helping people that can't, that can't afford pest control. So, there needs to be something there. There just needs to be something there. And yeah, that's all I wanted to. And it was my idea. It was something I'd always wanted to put together, but didn't have a good product. Well, now we have the product. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's see. If it flies off the shelf, you can't keep it. No. Sarah, you're a genius. It might do. It might do, to be fair.
Yeah, you can message me when I'm in the Bahamas, okay?
Do you want to mention your code, Sarah? I'll put it in the description as well after.
Fantastic. Yeah, if anybody's going to order any ChinChex products, use the Bedbug Queen, one word, as a discount code.
Is that capitals or does it
all
not matter?
Small, all lowercase.
All lowercase. There you go. You get a little discount. Do you get a little discount? Is it little?
They get a little discount. Yeah. I get a little kickback.
Oh, that's nice. That is. So so thanks everyone, and thanks for watching. I will upload this to Facebook, people. I've never had that before, but it is what it is. Most people
screaming.
To be fair, most people, the highest rates of watchers come from Spotify and Apple. After they do. Whoa. Higher than Facebook and higher than you. I would like it to be YouTube and Facebook, but the little clips I put up on Facebook, they do incredibly well. They do, but the podcast wise, I mean, the podcast is up over 6,000 on Spotify listens. Not every podcast. I wish it was every podcast, but it's doing very well. But I will re-upload this to Facebook.
Amazing.
It's messed up. So yeah. So thanks everyone for coming on and giving up your time and waking up early, Francisco. It's nice of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, thanks. I'll end the stream now. So yeah, thanks everyone, and I'll see you next week. Can't remember who I've got. It'll be someone good. Right, thanks.